Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, folks of all ages, anybody who watches this presentation, I want to welcome you back to another edition of the Sports Media Podcast. It's the Bow Prediction Sports Media Podcast coming at you every Wednesday, 8:30. A little late tonight. This is Mr. KC from the 813. I'm that dude with the beard, and we're going to go over some things that you might be interested in. Mr. KC, as usual, you are the operator and the manufacturer of this program. What are we doing today?
Ooh, dude with a beard, we are getting paid today. We are talking week one, NFL action, sports betting. What's the best money lines? What's the best over? Maybe one more parlay in the bunch. We got to talk a little bit about the games when we're talking about it. We're getting excited. Football is here.
He's not lying, folks. Football is definitely here. It's among us, and some bets will be better than others. Scared money don't make no money, as they say around the communities that I am frequent in. We will see what's going on, and we'll talk the Lions here. We'll talk everything, and we'll see what's going on. As usual, Mr. KC will walk us through it. And folks, once again, I appreciate y'all being here with us because if you wasn't doing nothing else on a Wednesday night, you chose to be here. Shout out to a few of our faithful Teach Talking Sports. Shout out to my boy Frank, my boy Jesse, everybody who's a part of the Bold Prediction Sports Media family. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We wouldn't do this if y'all wasn't here. Mr. KC, the floor is yours. I'm gonna shut my mouth for a second.
Well, the opening night of NFL action is Kansas City versus the Lions, as everybody knows. We're opening up with a 4.5 point spread. The money line is minus 225 for the Chiefs and plus 180 if you are bold enough to lose your money by picking the Lions to win this game. Dude with a beard, how do you like this money line? Are you picking the Chiefs money line?
I suppose in this game I'm gonna have to. Sobering realities of sports betting leads you into certain situations, and certain aspects of this thing is just tricky in general. But if you were to talk about a sure thing, if there ever was one, and which there isn't according to modern math, I would still go with the Chiefs over the Lions on the straight money line in this game, even if I almost said God rest his soul because he ain't dead, but I wish he was still here. Even if Chad Henne was playing, we'd probably still beat the Lions. So
Hmm.
I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm going with the money line. If you got a few dollars, why not put it on it? It ain't gonna net you too much, but it'll net you more than what you had.
Yeah, I'm absolutely right there with you. I would leave the spread alone with 4.5. I would just pick the money line either way. If you're going to pick the Lions or the Chiefs, I would stick to the money line. Now, the interesting conversation is going to be the over under 53 and a half points scored. And honestly, I feel like I would hammer the over on that.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the over if we're going to be a tendency to appeal toward factual evidence, which we tend to be on this program. The smart money says Patrick Mahomes doesn't score less than 34 points in any opening season game. So you'd be almost a fool to not do the over because Detroit might get at least 21 and then you're
Right.
already over. So I mean, I would hammer the over too. I would hammer the over. There's just no way around it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you because I can see this very well being like a 34-24 type of game or even a 34-31, where they bust the over and under, they bust the spread with that and imagine, just hammer the over. Just the under I was kind of surprised to see it only at 53.5 points.
No, I understand, and honestly, this thing will end up. A lot of people think it's going to be a shootout. I think Detroit will get their points when they can and where they can, because I mean, a lot of people are infatuated with them. I'm still looking at the wide receiver room, and your best receiver is not even playing, and I mean, more than Travis Kelsey not playing, if not. Um, I still like the Chiefs to win this game because Patrick Mahomes has already proven he can get anybody the ball. I remember last time Travis Kelsey didn't play, Byron Pringle went off. So I mean, like it's just what it is. Generational talent versus a team that's been talentless for 30 years since Barry Sanders. I know they had Megatron and Matt Stafford, but Barry Sanders is the Detroit Lions, and he ain't played in 30 years. So there's that.
True. That is very true. I'm right there with you. Now the next
Yes.
game on the slate is uh is a personal favorite of bold predictions. We've got the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Now this is opening up with the Falcons being a 3.5 point favorite. The negative 185 on the money line, and the Panthers are plus 150. So the value bets on the Panthers, but Vegas feels pretty strongly about the Falcons, and I'm going to toss it over to the man that also feels good about the Falcons. Well, what are you betting on this one?
I'll go with the Falcons on the money line. There's no reason not to. I
Yeah,
can't think of any reason why the Panthers could win this game. I think the quarterback situation is already dramatically different. You got a guy who's got to play a little bit and understand how the NFL is versus a guy who's coming in. And I'm not a real fan of Alabama quarterbacks unless you're Mac Jones, Pro Bowler, or
mhm.
Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl contender. But if you can show me another Alabamian quarterback that's done something, then I might be quiet about it. But at the end of the day, the Falcons are going 10-7 this season, and it starts by beating the Panthers. So there's that.
Very, very well put. I personally am going to leave this game alone. I'm rooting for the Panthers, but I just don't feel comfortable enough to put any money on this one. The over under is 39.5 points. So does the combined score come to 40? And that's an interesting one for this one.
No, it doesn't come to 40. The Panthers be lucky to get 17 out of this game. Um, I'm not an expert as far as what they're going to do on the field, but in my soul, it just tells me it's not going to be enough. It could be hit or miss, but I'm more than likely it's going to hit. I'm pretty sure the Falcons are going to win this game. But folks, like I said, take all this with discretion. Use your own mind, your own thought. Of course, like they say in them lawyer advertisements when you watch them on TV. Don't let your betting decisions be based solely off what I say, but I really don't miss. So I'm sure the Falcons are going to win this game. Take it, do what you will, but we got opposite spectrum. Mr. KC, he'll leave it alone, and it's okay to leave it alone. But if you're Darren and you got an extra 10, put it on the Falcons to win, and that wasn't even supposed to rhyme.
Yeah, and I'm kind of you're pretty spot on to me. Personally, I think the over under of 39.5 makes me want to bet under. I'm kind of right there with you on that. I have trouble seeing both of these teams just lighting up a scoreboard or guarantee that they'll combine to score 20 each, or I really don't see either one of them scoring 30 points either.
I'm
So
thinking it's more like a 23-17 win, and
yeah.
that's only because the Falcons gonna young Ho Koo, my young Ho Koo is gonna kick the game winning field goal. Well, not the game winner, but the game sealing one.
Yeah, 23-17 would hit the over though. So it does make me a little
Oh,
nervous.
okay. Well, let me take that back then. 23-14. They don't get that extra field goal out of
Yeah, there we
Carolina.
go. There we go. Just
Yes,
short
sir.
of it. I do think that's a
Just short.
real close line though. I think they were pretty spot on making that one. It's
Yeah,
right around that 40 point mark. So 39.5 makes it interesting.
for sure. And I agree with you.
All right, next game on the list is we kind of like hammering this one a little bit. And that's going to be the Texans versus the Ravens. The Ravens are negative 500 and the Texans are plus 375. So if you are bold enough to pick a dog for the Texans, you could make serious money. But we're big fans of this game, and I just don't see the Ravens losing it. They are 10-point favorites, which is, that's a pretty big spread there. That's it's kind of wild. They're calling the over under 43 and a half. So the Ravens are going to win by 10, and there's going to be less than 44 points in the game. So they're really looking for like a pretty
A
wild
blowout.
score there.
And honestly, I mean, you can go with the Ravens only if you're going to do the money line. I'm not sure about the spread as far as that. I think the Texans will be more formidable than just being able to score a few points or
Right.
almost not any.
Yeah, they're
Um,
pretty competitive, let alone a 10 points. But that's a pretty, they're Vegas is pretty much saying the Ravens are going to mollywop the Texans with a 10-point spread. It's kind
yeah,
of insulting.
that's pretty much it. They're gonna destroy them apparently, and um, I mean, I picked the Texans to lose, so I mean, I'm with you that the Ravens are going to win, but I don't know if it's going to be an absolute bloodbath like how Vegas is predicting it. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to play the money line, like I said, net you just a few dollars, you can do that with the Ravens.
Yeah,
You can do that.
absolutely. And with a minus 500, if you bet $100, you'll make 20. So, there's it's a quick little 20% gain that you can make off this game. And I feel pretty comfortable in that being kind of a lock. And apparently, with a 10-point spread, so does Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, barring a well, you know what? I wouldn't even say a collapse. This game is really kind of it ain't wide open, but based off of names, you would assume that the Ravens should win this handedly. So
Right.
that's what Vegas is going on, and that's what I'm going on apparently because I picked the Ravens to win. So let's go ahead and go with the money line if that's what you're feeling like you're betting here.
Yeah, I feel like that's the safest bet. And I would almost consider the under to a 43 and a half, keep it under 44 points. I can probably see that happening too. These are both they've gotten okay defenses on both sides.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And we got a potential upset alert on this one. Ding 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 ding. The next game is going to be Bengals versus Browns. And we actually were talking about this game before we came online or came live, and I'm surprised at how close this is. This is not big of a dog as I was expecting. The Browns are plus 115. The Bengals are minus 135. We have a 2.5 point spread. So, you got to score at least three or within three. And an over under pretty high of 47 and a half.
Yeah, and honestly, folks, I mean, I'd leave this game alone, I suppose, because it's one of those things that's I guess it's almost too risky for the blood. I mean, unless you but this is bold predictions. You can be bold and go with either one, honestly, at this point. It just depends on how you want to shake it out. Who do you feel in your gut is going to be better? A guy who's been to the Super Bowl and an AFC Championship game who's moderately hurt, or a guy who hasn't done nothing but who's getting high praise for certain situations. So
Right.
I
That
don't
does
know,
make it hard to
folks.
pick the Browns on this one. And really with only a plus 115, I just feel like there's so much more on the Bengals roster. I was kind of surprised this wasn't a bigger gap. But I do feel like the over of 48, 47 and a half, so scoring at least 48. I would probably hammer the over on this game. I think if I was going to bet this game, I'd probably just stick with the over under and bet the over.
And we're indifferent on that. I'd bet the under.
Oh,
Um,
would you?
it is. Yeah, because after reevaluating certain things, you got to do the mathematics. There's nothing in my mind to tell me that the Browns can even really keep up. So I mean, we just have to see it based off a product. I mean, eye test only goes so far. I mean, it goes far in conversation, but when Vegas gets involved, it's a whole different beast. So I I'd probably go under on that. I don't see the Browns unless it's in the script. I don't see the Browns doing it. Like I said, it has to be scripted perfectly for them to win because there's no logical reason why they should win this game.
Right. And
Honestly,
that's why I was kind of surprised that it was that close on the money line. I figured it would be the betting public would be hammering the Bengals over the Browns, but apparently that has not happened yet.
no, not yet, and it probably won't. I think Joe Burrow's back, and they say he's looking pretty decent, and uh, they're gonna. I already see what the media is gonna do. It's like the Patrick Mahomes on one leg situation. They're like, oh, well, Joe Burrow's doing this fresh off an injury, blah
Mhm.
blah 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 blah. So I mean, folks, either don't touch it or go with the under.
Yeah. And I would almost just not even touch that one at all. The next game on the list is another one we feel pretty comfortable about. That's going to be the Jaguars at the Colts. And the Jags are negative 225. And the Colts are going to be plus 185. We have a 5 point spread and an over under 45 and a half. And I think if it was me, I would hammer the Jags money line. And I feel like I would take the under of 45 and a half.
Um, I'm indifferent, folks. You can take the Jags money line, but I'm taking the over. I think the Jags are probably going to be number wise this season amongst the top two, if not number one, just based off of their strength of schedule and with the expectation of Calvin Ridley playing good and the Prince continuing his trajectory. Um, I'd take the over. I think Jacksonville's probably going to hang up a gang of points on the Colts just to prove a point.
Yeah, my problem with picking the over is I just really don't see the Colts contributing very much to the point score. So we really, in my opinion, you would really need to be looking for the Jags to. They might need a 40 ball to hit that 45 over. Like this is I feel like it's a very one lopsided game. I almost feel very comfortable with the Jags -5. Like I would almost be willing to do that, spot the Colts 5, and say the Jags got to win by at least 6. I feel very comfortable by the at least 2 field goals for the Jaguars.
Well, you can't argue with that. I mean, two field goals. I think it'll be more than that. It's the only thing it sounds like we're agreeing on in this situation that the Jags are going to win just by how much at
Yeah,
this
well, I
point.
think you have the Jags by more than 6 too, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
it's going to be close at all. So
Yeah, I don't think so either. I feel like that 5 is giving the Jags plenty of room to cover on that spread. I feel like the Jags should cover that pretty easily. We're both handing that money line. All right, and the next game is going to be the Buccaneers versus the Vikings. We have the Vikings favorite at negative 250, and the Buccaneers plus 200. We have a 6 point spread in this one and an over under of 45 and a half. I think we both would hammer the Vikings money line at minus 250. And I kind of feel comfortable with the Vikings scoring at least 7. on the Bucks. How do you feel about the +7?
I'm right there with you. I can't say nothing that you ain't already said.
What do you think about the over under of 45 and a half? What's the score of this game, you think?
Oh, 35-3, maybe
Right. Yeah, I'm all right there with you. I can see this being like a
28-3,
tw-
maybe.
28-7, 28-10. Like I
Oh,
feel I would hammer the under of 45 and a half unless the Vikings just go off. This is another one of
yeah,
those. Unless the Vikings are putting up 40, I don't see how they're getting to 45 and a half.
right. Because the Buccaneers' offense is probably going to be nothing but stagnant, and
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
mean,
people like to talk about JJ. Oh, he's the best receiver. He's got all these yards and stuff, but they forget Kirk Cousins is throwing the ball. So I don't know what it is in regards to that. Some people on this show too,
mm.
but
This
I got
way.
the Vikings.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, I think we're pretty consensus there on that one. We're pretty spot on. I feel pretty comfortable with the Vikings there. Another game that we feel pretty, and this one has value. I like this one a lot. It has tons of value. Titans versus Saints. The Saints are the favorite with a minus 175. The Titans have a plus 145. It's only a 3 point spread, which I'm kind of surprised about. So I'm thinking, I'm picking the Saints to win this, and minus 175 is pretty. I think they're suggesting they're going to win it too. A minus 175 with only a 3 point spread lets you know that you should be picking the Saints, and I would probably pick them to win by more than 3 points.
And yeah, I'm with you with that.
Yeah, we have an over under of 41 and a half. What are you thinking the score is going to be on this one?
However much Derek Carr can put up before the Titans want to throw in the towel.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. And I think I'm just coming in barely with the under. I'm looking at I feel like it's a 24-17 game. And that's going to put it right there at 41 points. So it's pretty close.
Titans getting 17. Okay, well, yeah, we're gonna see because yeah. So I'm straight money line on that. I, if it's not an over, I'm surprised. So I just probably leave that side alone because I guess it's too much left up to opportunity. Let's just leave it that way.
Right. I feel you there. This one, uh-oh. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is not as much of an upset alert as I had predicted. This next one, we have the 49ers at Steelers, and the word must be getting out. Someone must be watching this show because the Steelers are only plus 110, and the Niners are 130, negative 130. So this is a pretty much a pick 'em as far as they're concerned. They're giving the Steelers a 2.5 point spread. So plus the Steelers just got to get within three. Which way you betting this game?
I'm not gonna touch this game at all. I would normally pick the Steelers in this game and to just pick the money line, but further mathematics led me to the situation where it's just like, maybe Brock no, I can't even say it. I'd leave this alone. I just for the simple fact I just leave it alone. I don't know what the NFL is gonna do in this game. In all reality, the Steelers should win this, but I'd leave this one alone.
Yeah, I honestly thought they would have the 49ers way more favored in this game. I just I truly did, and seeing this, I think a lot of people are picking the Steelers to win. There's a ton of money on the Steelers in this game. Mm.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Steelers got everything you would want in a team, but a lot of people, they like Brock Purdy. They love Brock Purdy. They love San Francisco's defense, who never plays anybody every year. It's media hype and nostalgia.
I mean,
In
there's a lot of things
reality,
to point to for the Niners, though. You got that
is it
defense that
really?
everybody loves.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah,
why do they love it? Why do they? Because they
because
ain't
it's
played
a pretty
nobody.
solid.
It's the
I mean, they
same
got
defense with Kendrick Ward and all these other dudes. Like they weren't shit.
Bosa.
Excuse us,
You
family. When they played the Chiefs, and it just shows. It just goes to show you when they got to the playoffs, you play a team. They got real offense. Took to the
I
river.
mean, they got a pretty
Then
decent offense too. Even if you take away the quarterback or whatever, you got some real names on that offense with Debo and
well,
Kittle and McCass,
they took away the quarterback
CMC.
last year, and nothing happened. So there's that.
I mean, they were
Um,
doing good until they landed
took the
on
quarterback
quarterback
away.
number
Yeah.
4.
Right.
And I mean, it's
Then everybody fell in love with it. It's Matt Castle, Kaepernick all over again. Like I said,
mm,
talk to me about Brock Purdy week 5, and
oh
when the Niners are 1-4, then
oh
they wish they didn't trade Lance.
that
So
does
well,
that does feel like a little bold prediction there. We're already calling the
what it
shot. We
is.
we we know it. We gave him the names. We threw the insults. He done called him a Matt Castle. It doesn't get you can't hurt many more
How many
feelings than that.
how many backups have we seen come up off
Uh,
an injury off somebody else?
I mean, you're right.
It's time and time again.
And you
They come
mentioned
in
it.
look great.
You even mentioned it in that franchise with Cap. Like it's just man, and that's like a very 49ers esque move, ain't it? We get,
Exactly. Think they would learn from past mistakes, but no.
so maybe we end up
We'll,
with Trey Lance down in Cowboys developing, and Brock Purdy becoming the future Matt Castle of the NFL.
more than likely. I'm not a Purdy believer. And like I said, I don't have to be. Everybody got their opinions. I know
Well,
you're high on Purdy,
I'm not.
but
I think he's serviceable. I'm not. I'm not gonna put him in like a top 10 category.
I don't even think he's even Trent Dilfer level yet.
Ooh. I
Trent
mean,
Dilfer played the whole season and won a Super Bowl. This dude, all he had to do was fill out the last few games, and he got hurt in the biggest game and the biggest opportunity, the biggest moment of his life. So it almost tells me everything I need to know. Like I said, San Fran, and shout out to my boy Frank, because Frank, another one of our loyal bold predictions patrons, if you will, co-host, almost, whatever you want to call it. He even knows that 49ers front office. Yeah, we can sign big names. We'll bring all the people in. But as soon as our quarterback gets hurt, we'll replace him. And then if the other one gets hurt, we're gonna replace him. And don't let him get hurt, because we'll bring in Mr. Irrelevant and think that he's the truth. Even though we've already been through this for the last 12 years.
hey,
Good night.
what you got to give them props for is though, they're not afraid to throw that dart at that quarterback board. They're not
They're
afraid
not.
to move on.
because
So,
because when you have 2 good seasons and a terrible season, and then a couple good seasons and another terrible season, you can afford to keep giving these number 1 overall quarterbacks and then afford to trade them off.
man, I feel like the 49ers been right there competitive for a little bit though.
I don't
Really
think
since
so.
that Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl kind of era, they've
Who's the quarterback?
Brock Purdy.
No, and you said the Chiefs Super Bowl era. I said, who's the quarterback?
Oh, I mean, they've had a couple of them. It was Jimmy G.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I only remember Jimmy G. I don't remember another quarterback playing in the Super Bowl in the recent years other than Jimmy G in San Fran, or even in an NFC Championship game other than Jimmy G.
Jalen Hurts.
I said 49er quarterback.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, it actually really has just been old Jimmy has. Well, no, Brock Purdy took him to.
Oh, yeah, I
he's
guess so.
kinda-
I forgot he beat Whack Prescott. You're right.
right,
You're sure right.
which is it. I mean, I mean,
Hey, no, no,
technically,
hey,
it's
no, 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 no.
still
Let's give it
technically.
to him because when they beat Patrick Mahomes, they give all the flowers. So he
Right.
beat Derek Carr, bully to you. Flowers on each side. Cannon to the left of them if you're a Fresh Prince fan. Cannon to the right of them. All of that. Let's do it. Brock Purdy. But y'all gonna please. Anyway, I'd bet the under on this season. If I bet they wouldn't make the playoffs. Matter of fact, that's probably the bet you need to make on MGM.
Mm, mm. All right. Well, the next game on the board, we got another lock in the house. We have the
Lock.
Cardinals at Commanders, everyone's
Oh, well,
favorite
that's the
game.
only lock on the fucking slate. I mean, excuse us, family. That's the only lock because
It's the biggest. It is definitely the most confident I feel on a lock right here. And really, there's this one has decent value with a minus 300, with a plus 240 going to the Cardinals. Don't bet that. And a spread of only 7. So actually, like, the Cardinals got to score, or the Commanders have to score at least 8 more points. Do they score 8 more than the Cardinals?
more than likely the Cardinals probably won't even score. So we'll see what happens. Um,
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
even know.
I think I'm right there with you. I usually don't like giving us. I don't like spreads when you start hitting over a touchdown. When you're like, I've got to win by a touchdown and a field goal, or like a safety or something. I don't like you like, okay, I've got to win. I've got to score a touchdown and something else. Like that's a lot. But let's be realistic. Do the Cardinals score points? The over under is only 38. They're calling this a low scoring game. Uh, you know, I I'd almost feel comfortable even spotting the Commanders or the Cardinals that little touchdown that they need.
No, and that's for sure. And young Jesse, yes, sir. For Chiefs kickoff, I will see you tomorrow. I just seen the comment pop up. Uh, Quinn already talked about, we Chiefs homers here. Thursday night, Jeff Bezos Bowl start off the the season, and why not start off with the champions? So there's that. Shout out to you, Jesse. We see
Yeah,
your
shout out.
comments, we recognize it.
Yeah, thanks for coming in,
Yes, sir.
and thanks
What's
for
the next game?
yeah, and thanks Beer for calling that out because I was over here deep into the bets and I didn't even see Jesse pop in. It's always nice to see him. Uh, the next one we got. This is a little disagreement in the house. We have the Packers versus Bears. They're calling this one a. This is the closest game on the slate probably all week. It is plus 100 to the Packers and minus 120 for the Bears. There's only a 1 point spread. So what are you doing? Well, what you thinking?
Well, I talked to my advisors, and I probably shouldn't even touch this game. It's so close. Um, Honestly, I had a lot of confidence in the Bears coming in, and then a lot of confidence in the Packers possibly winning this game because it's Week 1. Who knows what these teams are gonna do? And if you're a homer, die hard, go with the Pack. They're plus 100. Go ahead and go with the Pack. If you got $3, $5, put it on the Pack. Why not? Why
Oh,
not?
why not? Because you have Jordan Love. I am hammering the Bears. Look, this got good value for Bears fans. I really thought the Packers would be bigger dogs than this. Calling it even bet is almost an insult to the Bears. And I don't know what in God's green earth they're seeing in Green Bay that I'm magically not. But I promise you one thing: what we're going to find out week 1 is you're going to start getting a hint of the Jordan Love is a bust conversation getting started. And you heard it here, folks. Heard it here first.
I'm flabbergasted. I don't have no comment.
Yeah, and a lot of people are high on Jordan Love. They say he can do it. I just don't think the Green Bay Packers have hit on 3 straight quarterbacks. I refuse to believe it. I've never seen a bad Packers team, but I would imagine If I ever do, it looks like it with Jordan Love.
Okay.
next, next,
Okay.
next game on the slate. Oh, we got another banger, little favorite of the house. Eagles versus Patriots. The Eagles are negative 190, and the Patriots are plus 155 with a 4-point spread.
Yeah, and folks, I mean, if you got advisors, people you listen to, they'll probably just tell you to leave this alone. And that's probably what you should do, folks. I mean,
Oh no.
unless you're a homer in New England, like I said, you could go with the Pats. I mean, looking at the game, I would go with the Patriots, but I've learned to listen to the folks around me, and maybe I'm too high on the Pats. Maybe they know something I don't know. Um, I'd leave it alone. I mean, if you think you want to make a few dollars, put a few on the Eagles then to win. But for fans' sake and nostalgia, I just historically go with the better team. I would pick the Patriots, but
Mm.
don't listen
Yeah,
to
and
me,
you
folks.
you're gonna have to look through those history books to find you a quarterback named Tom Brady for me to pick the Patriots over the Eagles. And since we know he's off in model land, enjoying the rest of his retirement, I'm going Eagles on this one. We just seen them in the Super Bowl. They're hungry. They have the better quarterback. They've got the better everything except for probably
Man,
coaching. You
he
got to give
sounds
the
like me
Patriots.
last year when I was talking about the Rams, y'all. You just don't know. It's all right.
And the Patriots, what I will give you though, is speaking of coaching, since it is a factor, I mean, we are talking about Bill Belichick with extra time to prepare for these Eagles, right? So
Hmm.
maybe you're onto something with this Patriots team. But with a plus 155 isn't terrible odds either.
No, it's not terrible, and the reason why it's not terrible because it's plausible. But like I said, you folks, at the end of the day, you take all this with a grain of salt. Um, if I were a betting man, scared money don't make money, I'd go with the Patriots. But like I said, unless you got people telling you not to, and you succumb to the pressure.
Speaking of scared money, don't make no money. Let's move it down to the AFC dumpster fire
I don't even want to talk about it. I
of
can't
the
believe
Raiders
this.
versus the
No, let's
Broncos.
talk about it, folks. Because
Look,
this
this
man,
there's some
no, I'm
value here.
Mr. KC. This is my time. This man, Mr. KC, my beloved co-host, my brother, a man I'd give the shirt off my back to, really thinks that the Denver Broncos are gonna beat the Raiders in the first game. He thinks
I do.
that the Vegas Raiders are a bigger dumpster fire than the Broncos, and I just can't understand how he came to this conclusion. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the sake of just being in reality, if you don't bet on the Raiders to win this game, then don't bet at all if you're that scared. Because there's just no way in life the Broncos are going to win this game. And when they don't win, and I do mean when they don't win, and you put money on it, let us know in the comments because I'm putting money on it too. And I'm going to give you a bully to the left, a bully to the right for going against the thing that ain't right. The Broncos, Russell Wilson, he
Russell
stop
Wilson.
playing. Stop.
And let me tell you what,
What
Vegas
about him? What about him?
Vegas absolutely agrees with me because they have the Broncos as a 190 minus
Uh-huh.
190 favorite
What does that mean?
to win. And the
The Eagles are
Broncos are
favored
a
to win the
plus
Super Bowl.
155. Look, if you're going to bet the Raiders, go for it. Have at it. Bet that money line. Let your balls hang.
And
Bet
come
that
up
money
like a fat
line.
cat in the alley.
Take that 155. And what I think is awful, this is kind of weird here. They only have it as a 3.5 point spread. So they believe
Exactly.
it's going to be just about a field goal type of game. They truly do. With an over
And
under
that's
of
fine.
44, this is, they're going to score
But
some
who's
points here,
favorite?
supposedly.
You said who's favorite to
The
win?
Broncos.
Man, and that's how you know Vegas gets it wrong because the Eagles was favored to win the Super Bowl. Hey, favorites are favorites until reality sets in.
Well, there's tons. There is ton of value there at that plus 155. And to me, this is truly a coin flip type game. So for it to be a plus 155, you know, you make more money when you get your dogs correct. So if you're going to go and do with the beard and pick one of his dogs, this might just be the dog to go with. It truly might. There's a lot of value there.
There's nothing about Denver that says anything that they're better than the Raiders. Like
Mm,
I'm not a fan of the coach. I'm not a fan of the
I mean,
quarterback. I don't know
no,
who's catching the ball. I'm not a fan of the
they're
running
about
back.
out of.
Like
They are about
what
out
are
of
we
wide
talking
receivers.
about, dude? Like Jimmy G and Devontae Adams are already better combination than Russell Wilson and anybody in Denver. And I'd put $100 on that straight fact alone.
I I would
Uh,
actually
the,
I'd actually agree with that fact. That is a
like,
pretty
like
strong. Yeah,
dude, there's no way Denver winning this game. They're
yeah.
just not.
Because Devonte Adams is clearly the best player on either one of these teams by a pretty
A
significant
margin,
margin.
the largest margin you can imagine.
Yeah, there's no one else. I mean, you got Josh Jacobs for the Raiders. He's a pretty legit
Exactly,
running
better
back.
running back.
But and even him, he's questionable. Like Devonte Adams has proven he's an elite wide receiver for
Who's the running back
a
in
handful
Denver?
of years. I can't even remember who they've got a little running back
Exactly.
by
Some
committee
that
that
dude.
they
I think
like to run.
they got the dude from Cincinnati because they thought he could beat the Chiefs. What's the dude name? Perone,
Oh,
something with the P.
Perrium. Yeah,
Yeah, whatever
Perrium.
it is, some bum. Like I said, like dude, top to bottom, the Raiders roster look better. Like I said, the only thing you could argue with if you think what's the boy name? I don't even know the coach name. What's the
Sean
boy
Payton.
name?
Sean
If you
Payton and
think
Josh
Sean Payton's a
McDaniels.
good coach, is the only argument you can handle. But Josh McDaniels has already showed that he's a better offensive mind than Sean Payton,
No, he's not.
and I put $100. He's not.
He's not. He's
I
not.
almost closed the lid on this thing.
Yeah,
He's
he's
not.
not.
Dude,
Josh
one dude had
McDaniels.
Drew
We're talking
Brees.
about Josh Trash Ass McDaniels,
We're talking about
who's
Josh
already
McDaniels.
proven he's already proven when he was with the Broncos, he can't
Uh huh.
coach. He is not no coach.
That's
And here
first
we
time
are
through
with
the
the
fire.
Raiders.
First time through the
He's
fire.
locking people. He's locking Chandler Jones out the building, right? That's what the
Yeah,
Raiders
because
did.
Shannon Jones said he didn't want to play. So
Mm,
what he need to come in here for?
mm. Okay. I was just
What do you need to
making
come here
sure
for? You
we're on
don't
the
want to
same
play?
page.
Then why are you here? Why are you showing up if you don't want to play?
Well,
Stop
Devonte
playing,
Adams
man.
didn't seem to be happy about it either, but
So a dude who had to inspire his team to fucking hit dirty for years is a better coach than a
mm.
dude who's done already proven that he done put offenses together. Stop
He
playing.
didn't
Sean
put no
Payton.
offense together.
Sean
He was riding old Belichick's coat
Belichick is
with
not an offensive
resume.
genius, and everybody on the planet knows it, except for you
I'm not
apparently.
going to call him one, but I know that Josh McDaniels ain't no head
Hey,
coach,
so let me
and
ask you
nobody
this.
on the planet's calling him
Let me
one.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. Tell me one offensive led Bill Belichick Patriot team that won a Super Bowl. Because I guarantee you that none of them is the answer.
What are you talking about? When we talking about Randy Moss and
Who's the
Gronkowski
coordinator?
and Edelman, they've
Who was
had
the coordinator?
offensive.
Who was the
What's that?
coordinator?
Oh, I don't. I can't.
Okay,
They've been through a
exactly.
couple
Oh,
of them.
yeah, okay. All right, okay. Yeah, so we'll leave that there.
Well, Steve
Sean
Spagnuolo
Payton.
is a great coordinator, but he ain't a good head coach. Like
What
some
does that
people
got
are
to
just
do with what we
coordinators.
talk? We ain't talking defense. We talking offense. Y'all giving Sean Payton all this credit for getting a Hall of Fame quarterback from the San Diego Chargers. Y'all
And
asking
what
because
stopped
what did he?
what
Like I
stopped the
said,
Raiders from
this
doing it
this is
last season?
this what stopped him from doing it last season? Patrick Mahomes.
Man, Patrick Mahomes only
What are you
caused the
talking
Raiders to lose
about?
2 games. They lost way
Two
more than
games
two.
that wasn't gonna get them into the playoffs because they wasn't gonna win the West against a stacked AFC. If you throw them same Raiders in the NFC, they probably be the favorite to win the damn Super Bowl. Almost. Like, are you kidding
No,
me?
no,
No.
no. They would even. You throw the Raiders in the NFC, and they still don't make the playoffs. What are we
So
talking
the
about?
Saints ain't gonna make the playoffs.
The Saints will. I said the Raiders
Why?
don't.
Because they got playoff Derek Carr from the Raiders.
And other players. They got Alvin Kamara down there once he gets off suspension. They got Michael Thomas if he don't get injured or until he gets injured.
At the end of the day, Derek Carr is going to a lesser cast than the one he left because the running back room is better than Alvin Kamara, and the wide receiver room with Devontae Adams is better than the one down there with Michael Thomas, and they're going to make the playoffs. You know why? Because they're in the fucking NFC.
I mean, it
Like,
helps.
let's
It
not
helps.
let's not like. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. So if you took the Las Vegas Raiders and moved them into the NFC, they would be a playoff team every year.
It depends on the division though, because like if you
Any
do
of them. The
no,
top. What?
no, put them in
Okay.
the NFC East,
Thank
they're
you.
not
And
making it.
that's what I was hoping you say. So you're is boil it. Let's boil everything down. Derek Carr, he ain't better than Dak Prescott.
They're that's pretty ballpark and
Okay,
pretty
he
close.
ain't better than Jay. The only thing Jalen Hurts got on Derek Carr is that he been to a Super Bowl. Numbers ain't better, ain't even close. Daniel Jones, who is my boy, Vanilla Vic, he got the same numbers as Jalen Hurts, ain't even close.
Man, I
So,
think all
so
three of those teams are better. Every bit of the NFC East is better. Like I have trouble. The Raiders are really trying to
that's
compete
crazy.
with the Commanders, and even then, I question how well they do against the Commanders. Like this a I don't know. I'm not letting the Raiders mess up my picks for this year. That's a dumpster. That's a top 5, top 10 draft pick type team in the making, and it's easy
Right,
to
but the
see.
Lions ain't. But you high
The
on the
Lions ain't.
Lions. They not
Speaking
though.
of
But
another
that was literally just a situation. But they're not though. We're talking about crazy insanity. Stop. Oh, I can't even
let's
do it.
talk about
Can't even.
another crazy insanity one. We have one next on the
Can't
schedule.
even do it.
Another fan favorite for bold predictions. That's going to be Dolphins at
Fan
the
favorite for who?
Chargers. Oh, for me, I love picking
I
the
got the
Dolphins.
answer. I got the answer for this one. No one cares. No one cares.
Well, what
Two
I'm kind of
teams that
surprised
aren't going
about,
to the Super Bowl, two teams that probably won't net you money during the season. Because you know
hmm,
why? You got fucking Tua Tagovailoa as
he's healthy.
quarterback, and he'll be done. And then you got Justin Herbert, another guy who can't even beat the Prince that was promised in a playoff game when he was up by almost 28 points. So no one cares.
Well, anyways, the Dolphins. I would hammer the Dolphins pick being plus 135,
And he
especially
would
with
only
only
do
a
it because he's in
3-point spread.
Florida, folks. But no.
And Florida, and I'm a Tyreek Hill fan, so bad combination.
And that's all the more reason not to pick the Dolphins to win this. All the
2,000
more
yards
reason. 2,000 yards where?
this season. We get a healthy Tua.
Yawn. He
He,
won't.
he's hitting that Tua.
I got $100 on that too. He won't.
No,
Uh,
I'm not putting 100 on the Tyreek
yeah,
Hill
I was
to
about
get
to say
2,000
he
yards.
won't. He
But I'm
won't.
talking. I might throw up them deuces with him, but I'm not going to let my $100 bill deuce faster than he can
I'm
run.
trying to tell you,
All
that's the
right.
only deuce I need to see. Come, I need two
Yeah.
deuces. We bet 200 on
Yeah.
it.
That's one of those
No,
bets you usually catch me after a couple drinks and you catch me on too. And I end up losing the $100. Anyways, speaking of winning $100, we have a lock for you. Dun dun dun. It's going to be the Seahawks versus the Rams. We have the Seahawks at a minus 250 and the Rams with a plus 200. Dude with a beard, I'm guessing you kind of like the lock of the Seahawks as well, right?
yeah, nothing really to talk about. It's the Seahawks. The Rams are trash. You got rid of all your best players. Cooper Cup's hurt. Matthew Stafford coming back off injury. The Seahawks money line over. Uh, hold on. What are they? Oh no, are the Rams favorite plus 5?
No, no,
Oh,
no, no. They
oh,
had
okay. I see it now. I had to refresh.
yeah, and I've actually
Seahawks.
got it as a plus 5.5. So the Seahawks need to score at least 6, and I'm with you there. I think they could do that. I
Yeah,
like
that's easy.
that too. I would
That's easy. Like
almost
the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I'd almost parlay that money line and the spread together, or the maybe even just take that spread. I kind of
No,
like
for
that
sure.
spread with a -110. I'll spot them. I'll spot them 6 points if you're gonna give me 110.
Right.
All right. We got an interesting. This next game is interesting for me. This is a low key. Uh, I'm glad this got prime time. That's gonna be the Cowboys versus the Giants.
Yeah, and definitely going with the Giants on that. Like I say you can win some money. Depends on how much you want to spend. What's the over on that?
The
Yeah,
over
if you're a betting, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
46 and a half. It's the over under.
Gotcha. I would probably almost go with the over on this one. I think both these teams are capable of putting up points. Um, I'm a firm believer. Oops. I'm a firm believer in Dallas's defense, but at the same time, I do love the offense that the motherfucker, excuse me, that the Giants got going on with Vanilla Vic and Saquon. So, uh, if we got to talk about it, grab paper towel, folks. I'm sorry about that. Um, I'm definitely gonna go with the Giants in this one, and especially with far as betting sense.
Yeah, and you get a plus 145 on the money line for them. So there's some big value money there. They have the Cowboys as a -175. This is a real close one. I know we both have the Giants winning this game. So I'm real iffy on betting it, but I wouldn't be afraid to throw at least a unit, whatever you feel comfortable, a smaller amount, a regular type bet for you on the Giants. I know that Teacher Talking Sports actually has the Cowboys winning this game. So
Oh, he
hopefully
does.
he does. He does
Oh,
have them winning
teach.
this game. And he is a Giants fan. That is his team. So it does make you a little nervous when you're picking against a personal fan, But I think he
Yeah.
might just be surprised about the Giants this year, especially if
And
they
you
can
know,
upset the Cowboys.
and I would have thought Teach would have been a Bills fan as high as he is on them. So there's that. Seems like I might be the actual Giants fan in this situation. So there's that. Teach, you can holler at me whenever you want, fam. I'm here. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
no,
Giants fan. He's
yeah,
a
is
hundred
it?
percent. Yeah, 100% pure blooded. So much so he hates having to pick the Cowboys. But I mean, the Cowboys, uh, if they really developed past, if they would just leave Dak Prescott alone, and just look for a real quarterback, they would be an extremely dangerous team. It's a loaded roster.
You said they just left Dak Prescott alone. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Well,
moved
I
on
guess
from
that's
them.
why Trey Lance is there.
It,
Because
it is.
obviously they know something that the terrible front office in San Fran don't know. So there's that.
Well, you know what Jerry Jones said about that trade? He said, "Well, thankfully, since I'm the owner and the GM, I didn't have to talk to nobody about that trade, and it only took 5 minutes to get done." I tipped my
Right.
hat off. I was, every once in a while, Jerry Jones does something where I just got to
I'm a
tip
what to
my hat
do.
off, and he played that. This is my team card, and if I had owned a team, I would probably be very Jerry Jones, Mark Davisy for your just or Al Davis too, where you're just
Right.
ruining your team because they're
Oh
my
God.
picks and
He
I do
said
what I
just
want.
ruining it. Trey Lance. That means the Trey Lance trying to ruin the team.
No, no, no.
Oh,
But you know
almost
what I
sounded
mean.
like that. He said
Yeah.
just
I,
ruining the
I don't
team.
think it ruined the team. But you just sometimes is the owner and GM, you make irresponsible decisions. But I know I think
Oh,
for a
sure.
fourth round, the only bad side about trading Trey Lance is you're paying a lot of money for a backup with that rookie contract. But
Mm,
that's for a fourth round draft pick for him. That's a steal if he does
it's a
anything.
steal. Yeah, it's a steal. It's
Potentially.
anyway.
If he
It's just, yeah.
continues on the path to bust, you really did just waste a
But
fourth
see, the
round pick.
thing is, only you think he on the path to bust and the terrible GM and in San Fran.
More the GM in San Fran. I think he's got an
How you figure?
opportunity. What do you mean?
I'm just saying. You said you talking about he was gonna be a bust. I said only you and San Fran feel like he was gonna be a bust. That's why they traded him.
No, they're
And
100%. I'm only at like 83. I'm
see,
fairly confident, but I could be. There's still a possibility I'm wrong about Trey Lance.
and like I said, come week 5, they gonna wish Trey Lance was still there. It's gonna be so sad, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Well, I really hope because we have this on tape now. I really hope that this comes true, just so we can be like, damn, San Francisco done got again. Because if you look at Alex
Again,
Smith, he once they got rid of Alex Smith, it was all downhill for the Niners.
all
And
downhill.
Alex Smith kind of showed that, with good
Hey, I'm pretty
coaching and
good.
with good coaching, I'm actually a first
Pretty
round draft
good.
pick.
Yeah, the reason why they took me number 1.
Well, there's a reason. I
Dude,
might not get you.
Can you imagine all 12 years under Andy Reid? He'd be a champion. I'm so sure about it. He'd be a champion.
It'd be exciting. I wouldn't be surprised if he snuck one in too. He was getting
You see
so
what I'm
close there
saying?
at the end too. That
Dude,
last season was
dude,
real competitive.
dude, that's what I'm saying. He ain't never had nobody that brought that out of him. And there ain't nobody in San Fran that can bring that out of Brock Purdy. Because there ain't nobody in the NFL quarterback whisperer but Andy Reid.
I think having
Any
Mahomes
quarterback.
behind him really kind of helped too, because
Dude,
he was like, look,
Andy Reid ain't never missed on quarterback. He
he,
lost McNabb. Vic came in and was feasible for him.
yeah,
Uh
he's a quarterback whisperer. That's a bona
yeah.
fide.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. The thing that Sean Payton ain't. That's why he getting too much credit in there. All this stuff is gonna be exposed. It's all gonna
it
come to
will
a
be.
forefront, and all I'm gonna do is laugh and say, "I told you so." But I'm gonna say that to the world, everybody, because y'all see what I'm saying on here. I ain't making this up. Like we get caught up in these facades and we get caught up in off-season hype about certain moves and situation, and then when they come to fruition, it be just like what we thought it was. The Lions are gonna be the Lions, terrible. The Eagles are gonna regress. Like I said, they're good every now and then. Once every 4 years, the Eagles can put together a Super Bowl team. When the last time they went to the Super Bowl before this last time? Wasn't it 4 years ago
It was
when they
something.
went with Nick Foles?
Yeah, I think that
I
was a
ain't
little
making
more
this.
than four. That
That's
was
what
a
I'm saying.
little
I'm
more than
not
four.
making this up, man. Like, what are we really talking about? The most consistent
Mhm.
team that's been in the NFL since the Patriots is the Chiefs, and it's scary for people. That's why they got to come up with all these side stories and these other people. It's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah, it's got to be more than four. I feel like the Nick Foles Super Bowl had to be
What
before
that
Mahomes was in
17?
the league. Yeah, it was
Yeah, it
17.
was
So that's
17 or
six.
18, something like that.
Yeah,
Same
we're at
year.
six now. Time
Yeah, the
flies.
same year when he was a rookie. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what are we talking about? Y'all go to Super Bowl recently now. It's only been twice, every 6 years at this point.
All right, well, we got one more Monday night game to talk about. And this is a
Let's talk.
banger of a game. We have the Bills versus the Jets. The
Yeah,
Jets are dogs, barely, with a plus 115. The Bills are a minus 140 favorite with a 3-point spread. They are calling this a close game. Over under 46 and a half. Whew, whew, whew. That's a banger. I think I'm
it's a
picking the Jets
banger.
on this one. I like the Jets in this game.
Everybody should. Why would anybody pick the Bills?
I mean, they're
That's
they're the
it, man.
favorite.
We're talking about, and I know I picked the Jets to be a wild card this year, and that's just a wild prediction because I'm unless you have some prolific change with your team, if you're just a terrible team, you're going to be a terrible team. Like I said, they're getting peyote out the farm, Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's
Mm,
coming back to MVP form. I don't think he's gonna be what most people paint he's gonna be. I think he'll be feasible. He'll be enough to probably get to a wild card seat. But Josh Allen is Philip Rivers. You want to talk about teams that are overhyped? Really, this when we talked about the Raiders and the Broncos, this is how I see this game. You want to take two dumpster teams with named quarterbacks now just because they've done certain things. Like Aaron Rodgers ain't done nothing in 10 years besides the MVPs. Yawn, kudos to you. Cheers to you. Whatever. I
right.
can win an
That's
NFC.
it.
I can win a fucking MVP in the NFC. Stop playing. Uh,
Yeah.
anyway, not me personally, but sake of conversation.
Right, right. Almost.
This is the both these teams are dumpster fires, except for Detroit. I mean Detroit. The Jets got a better situation because their defense, in my opinion, is light years better than what the
That
Bills got to
defense.
offer.
Man, that's secondary. That secondary ain't no punk.
It's
They
not a
got,
joke.
yeah, they got some ballers out there for the Jets. And I really kind of like it. This is a pretty big over and under for being only a 3 point spread, too. They're calling it a 47-point game, 46 and a half. So, and I kind of like the under in that one, too. I don't know
I
if the
do
Bills are
too, because I
scoring
don't think.
tons of points.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. The Bills ain't gonna be able to score that much. Not on
Mm-mm,
this team. Not on that
mm-mm.
defense. And like I said, Josh Allen or Josh Rivers, he's that quarterback. So we'll see what happens. The Madden curse is on him. Besides, they already originally placed Buffalo Bill curse. So it's just what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, because I see that being like a 24-20, maybe even a 24-17 type game
You
for the
think they get a
Jets. So,
17? I don't. I think
mm,
the Bills probably get 10, maybe 13. These dude, bro, they
I like
they've
17.
been these people have been trying to project these people like they're the cream of the crop in the AFC when they're not even scraping at the barrel. Patrick Mahomes done ate the whole barrel. He done scraped the bottom. Joe Burrow done even scraped his spoon at the bottom. Josh Allen is nowhere even close to even really be in this conversation, even with Aaron Rodgers in this
All right.
particular game
All right.
itself.
You're changing it from 17 to 16. I went down 1 point.
He's
I'm,
in versus
I'm,
16. I'm
I'm
gonna
going
say
to
all
convert.
field goals, they're getting 12.
Yeah, I did one touchdown and a few field goals. I was thinking two touchdowns
I'm there with you. One touchdown and two field goals, 12 points.
with 13. Yeah, 13 points. Yeah.
I'm saying that's it. 13 points. Yeah, I said 12. 13 points. That's it. It's the big. I
Yeah,
can't keep
I like
talking about it.
16. I think they get that extra field goal in.
Okay.
They drive down the range a
No,
little bit.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Make it look
still don't.
close.
I don't see the Jets really just like blowing them completely out, scoring 30 plus to 16 or something. It could happen, but I really feel like that's a very 24-16 type game. Like I can see it. The Jets cover they get the money line and they're good to go. I would like that one a bunch.
With Dalvin Cook, I need to see how you gonna play out. The Jets probably put up 35 on these bums.
I mean, that could
I just
happen.
really feel it because didn't the Bills lose to the Jets with Zach Wilson last year?
Well,
I can only imagine. I can only imagine
yeah,
all
and
those missed throws that he missed being completed by Aaron, and it'd be a lot more feasible.
that really would get you to that over of the 46 and a half too, if you look at it, because you have, if they scored like 33 and it was
Mm.
33-16, that's right there, that 49 points, and that's kind of comfortably getting
In the
over it.
nest, just right there.
Yeah. I feel like the Jets would have to score at least 30 to hit the over. And it could happen though. It really freaking could. This could be a 35-16 game and they just completely blow out the over under.
That too. I can see that.
Yeah. And this is week one in the NFL. So these are the hardest sports bets to predict. This is the best time to grab value. If you're gonna gamble, make sure you gamble responsibly. Don't take your rent money and put it on the Packers. Don't do that. Um,
Man, unless it's
Was
this week because they're gonna win.
especially this week, because then everybody's already going to know Jordan Love's a bust, and I'm waiting for
Ooh,
the NFL to find out. And I'm really proud because a lot of people like to tell me I don't know, and we don't know, and we haven't seen it, and I feel like I'm the only one yelling, "What do we? What were they doing? He's a bust." So I'm going to hammer it down, and I like to throw insults. So go cheeseheads, go. You
oh, goodness gracious. Folks, I don't think there's anything else I need to say on this podcast and this production today. Mr. Casey has covered it all. What else can I say besides let's just see? Um,
Oh, I know what you could say.
Jordan.
Tyreek Hill, 2K, 2K deuces.
Even you don't believe that. So,
No, probably
folks,
not.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're gonna see. It's gonna be an exciting season. Uh, take these bets as you will. Always use your own mind instead of what you see in this advertisement, as far as what you want to call it. Uh, I'm
Yeah,
making
these
money
are all
off of it.
just we're just giving suggestions. It's not
Yeah.
financial advice, just suggestions.
The only thing I'd financially advise is that you put your money on the Commanders to win, because that's
Bam,
almost a lock. So there's that.
bammer it, bam.
I
Like
said,
if you,
yeah, there's
not a
that.
lot of free money opportunities, but uh, every game
That's
against the Cardinals is going to be one. So make sure you pay
exactly,
attention, folks.
exactly. As he said, pay attention, watch and see. Everybody who checked us out tonight, everybody who's liked and subscribed, who didn't hit the notification bell, thank you. We appreciate you. We wouldn't do what we do if it wasn't for you. He's Mr. KC from the 813. I'm that dude with the beer. We done brought you the MGM Sports Bets. Make sure you bet. Make sure you gamble responsibly. And make sure you check us out next time.
Absolutely. Thanks, folks.